Hi. So many people don't know this about me, but I used to be a child model. At least locally, okay? So I would model for this fashion store, and it was pretty big considering how it was part of a base, a naval base. So yeah, that's right. The naval base had fashion shows for some reason. So I was rocking that runway. Like I was so sure that I was going to become a model when I was older, or at least continue to be pretty. Um and then I grew up and I started going to public school. In first grade, I very quickly realized that girls like me did not fit the beauty standard at all. I mean, Miss Universe, probably, but normal society? That's like high society stuff. I'm talking about where I lived in the South. That's not. Girls like me don't win beauty pageants. As soon as I moved to the white South, and more so outside of my own naval base sphere, away from the military, I was overwhelmed by how white the popular girls were. Even then, brown girls like me, they didn't act like me. They didn't quite look like me either. I mean, we had very few Asians in my area, and all of them were either on the lighter side or they were very, how do I say this, neurotypical. They knew how to interact in these situations, very socially not inept. Socially inept? They're very good at socializing. Let's say that. They're very American. I grew up second generation immigrant. Even then, they had more experience than me just being there. And most of the time they are supporting characters in some other white girl's main story, and we had never been up there. We're like the Broadway Heather Dukes to Heather Chandler's. We don't get a happy ending. But I got bullied a lot. A lot. Because I was like a terrible book nerd. I halfway blame my dad because he was super nerdy, and I kind of picked up on that. That's what happens when your dad is very, very present in your life. And so I ended up going from this very super girly, I'm going to be a supermodel when I grow up, or a singer, to I want to go to Monster Truck Jam again. I like playing rock band and playing guitar. I want to have my own rock band as like the lead singer. And that wasn't, while Hole was kind of on the uprise, there was, and Paramore, there was still like some kind of backlash, especially in my area. So that was certainly something. So me finding my femininity right now is still a work in progress, given that I'm so used to being kind of not. Because all of the girls in elementary school kind of bullied me, very few girls were people that I was like closies with, or at least like good friends, you know? Even though I was in Girl Scouts, a lot of my like usual sphere of people I would hang out with at school were guys, and that continued to be that way. The ratio of like guy friends to girlfriends were like staggering. Very, very male dominated in my life. whether that be in my family or at school, in my social life. That continued till about college, I believe. And as of late, I'm still kind of navigating being girly. And I already said that, but girly in the traditional terminology, because I really, really, really love being girly. I have a bunch of pink right now. I mean, I love the color pink again because I am finding my own happiness, but I'm not good at makeup. I'm not good at any of these things that typical girls should know. And so when I try to be pretty and get out into the dating scene, you know, look for guys, I guess. For girls, it's quite easy. A lot of girls really like there's, how do I say this? There's switches, you know? You're mostly masc, but you're sometimes femme. It's really dehumanizing being with girls that only see you as like a boyfriend, even though you're a girl. And I've had that happen to me non-stop. But anyways, with the guys, it's really hard, given that my type doesn't really like being out masculine. Like, I talk like a homeboy, as some guys have told me, and that's not something that most guys like. And that's okay. That's okay, I guess. But when I say here comes the auditions and nobody auditions, what's the point? I said, where are the auditions? And then I get crickets and everybody goes, oh, you're chopped. What? I'm hanging out with my friends, right? And I admit it, they are all drop dead beautiful. I am the ugly best friend, right? But every single time a guy goes up to them and asks them out and kind of just like ignore my presence as an entirety, I get pissed. It's like, okay, one time, me and my best friend were hanging out, right? And this guy was like, hey, I saw you from afar. I really like your shirt. It was Affliction, which is like fast fashion for goth people. But as much as I love her, she thrifted it, okay? So it's fine. He was like, I really like your shirt. I really like your piercings. Hey, can I get your number? And I told him, as soon as he said, I think you're really beautiful. I like your shirt. I like your piercings. I was going, she has a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend. She's taken. She has a boyfriend. He immediately started looking at me like, okay. And it only took until her saying, I have a boyfriend, for him to walk away. He apologized, but was it genuine? No, of course not, because he wants what he wants. And what he wants is not me. That's okay. And I was really looking girly today. I was looking like a fairy that day. So I think it's just men nowadays. Maybe. I can't say all this. Again, I have a lot of guy friends and they agree with me most of the time when I say this. Why do you think it's okay to breathe, to be in the same vicinity, within 50 feet of a woman? Same thing. Hanging out with my best friends. We're just walking around, came back from, like, the bathroom, as one does, in a group, And this guy has the audacity to go, hey, so I was checking you out from afar. I just thought you were really cute. Hey, can I get your number? She was like, no. Do you have an Instagram? And he's like, I don't do that kitty shit. Sir, you don't even know how old they are. First of all, I feel like people gotta ask for people's ages up front nowadays, because there's no way. Have we forgotten that we live in a generation around the release of Euphoria, the series? That could have damn well been an 11-year-old, and you still would have said that shit. How embarrassing is that? Triply embarrassing. Was I jealous? No. But at the same time, would I like a guy to ask me out without it being a joke? Yes. In fact, I don't think that girls should live in a society where men have the audacity, where we feel like we have to pressure somebody to date us, where we feel like we need to write thousands upon thousands upon thousands of songs about how men are so dumb, so dull, so stupid, so irresponsible. And yet, they still think they have the right. I think that I need to stop lowering my standards. I think that girls need to stop lowering their standards. Right? Because I've been told, your standards are too high for a girl like looking like you. No. I think that all of our standards should be high as fuck. Because what the hell was that? What kind of generation are we living in where you think that it's okay to act like it's better to be treated like shit than to be unhappy? Or to be happy. Just like, there's no... I'm sorry, I confuse myself. I confuse myself every single day. It is not just you. I confuse myself every single time I wake up, actually. Why do we think it's okay to, like, lower our standards and be treated like shit than to make our standards higher and go for the guys that we shouldn't get and be happy with ourselves? Like, there's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that men breathe. There's no way. There's no way. Okay? Who set these standards? Men. And girls reinforce it for each other to impress guys who act like this in public. Like, sometimes they post their shit, right? And they go through the process of recording it. Well, actually, having the idea, right? Recording that idea. Editing that idea. Having somebody else edit that idea. Post it. Add a description, a caption, and then put it on a public YouTube account on the public interweb. There's no way. There's no way. Why? Sorry, this was supposed to be a rant about beauty standards, but now I've just gotten so pissed about men in general. Anyways, ending it there. Yeah. Okay. I need to de-stress. Okay. All right.